5 men who have been convicted of this explosive robbery in Boksburg in 2018 were sentenced to 150 years in prison. The men are Paul Sibanda, Thabo Molefe, Sibusiso Khumalo, Colin Hadebe, Thapelo Nchabeleng, and Thato Gaopatwe. Yes, you heard me right. The last man is Thato Gaopatwe. And if you think his name is familiar, it's because this man is the notorious CIT heist Kingpin. His nickname is the Bomber. And you know his name because he is known for conducting CIT heists from prison.
The court has just acquitted and discharged him. Is there anything that you want to say? I mean, obviously people have been following your case.
This woman is Tsaone. She met Thato at a club just months before he was arrested and sentenced. And this is a story of how Tsaone allegedly helped Thato steal millions during a number of heists in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. All of this while he was locked up inside a maximum South African prison. And after one of their most brazen heists at a mall in Botswana, a group of 10 men were left dead at her house. And she was the only survivor of what has been coined one of Botswana's most deadly shootouts to date. Welcome back to True Crime with me, Julia. On this channel, we look into true crime cases that have happened in South Africa. This is our first cross-border report, and while there is no ordinary clear victim of a brutal crime like there normally is in our reports, this case is coming to light because last week we reported on the story of the Lusikisiki mass shooting, which was allegedly ordered from a South African prison. On Thursday, we did a story of Matlala, who has been having his own dealings from a South African prison on his cell phone. I don't even have to get into Thabo Bester, who not only ran an entire business from prison and continued doing other criminal activities, all from a South African prison. So if anything, this is why we are doing this story. What is really going on inside South African prisons? Are they even prisons? Quick disclaimer, as I mentioned, this is our first cross-border report, so we have relied heavily on Botswana media reports, we have relied on social media accounts, we have also relied on reports from South African media. And as it stands, Thato is serving time in prison for the Boksburg hit. He was never convicted for the alleged hits in Botswana or in Zimbabwe. And we know about these crimes from a confession statement from Tsaone. So this report is also based on allegations. So let us get into it. Fleshy, very fleshy, the kind of people referred to as amagrotman or magodzumela. If you're not in South Africa, those are just terms used for men with a lot of money. Thato Gaopatwe is a socialite, and he is known for his fleshy lifestyle. On a normal day, Thato drops thousands of rands at luxury stores like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior, and luxury store attendants in Sandton and Mall of Africa know him by name. His car collection, one that would easily make any luxury car dealership jealous. He rides in style. So let us start from his rise. Thato was born in Francistown in Botswana. According to Botswana media reports, Thato started in criminal behavior when he was still very young. He started off with car robberies when he was still a teenager. In 2013, he was arrested and granted bail for allegedly robbing Khanzi Beef Butchery of cash amounting to 600 Botswana pula, which is equals to 773 South African rands, and 4 cell phones. He was with 3 other men, Lawrence Dintle, Tshepo Mokokwe, and Moses Dankomane. And then a few years later, he reportedly escaped from custody while detained from Mogadichane police station in Botswana. And this, according to reports, was later followed by him escaping to South Africa. And after getting used to the area, this is when he started committing crimes in the country. Thato would allegedly plan crimes while he is in South Africa and then organize a group of his men who would then execute them in Botswana. He made underworld connections and then started stretching his operation to Zimbabwe through the link of his men. So his main countries of choice were South Africa, his home country of Botswana, and Zimbabwe. And then he would graduate and decided to add dope dealings into his operation. So this again would run through cross borders. And no, His men didn't cross the border like ordinary people do. When they got arrested, in most instances, they were found to be illegal in those countries that they were in. They would be using cars that were stolen from one country and then used to commit crimes in another. So the thing about Thato is that he is very fleshy. So after successful operations, he would spend the money recklessly. And not only that, but he would also show off on his social media. His social media pages was his stage. On his Facebook, Thato says he studied money laundering. He says he studied at the School of Hard Knocks. He also claims to have studied skill, speed, endurance, saving money, and he also studied your mom at Harvard Community College. As mentioned, his posts usually show him buying designer clothes in Sandton or at Mall of Africa, or show him standing next to a brand new luxury German SUV that he claims to have bought. But at under 30 years old at the time, with no known business success, family wealth, or any link to the riches, where does Thato Gaopatwe get all this money? Well, on May 2018, a crisp autumn morning in Boksburg, Gauteng, 3 G4S cash-in-transit vehicles loaded with millions of rands, about 200 million, make their way down Atlas Road on their routine trip to an Absa Bank branch in Spartan. But on that fateful morning, their route had already been marked by men who had no intention of letting the money reach its destination. As the G4S trucks approached the intersection on Atlas Road, chaos erupted. Fully automated gunfire shattered the air. Civilians ducked for cover as masked men unleashed bullets into the armored vehicles. The attacks moved with precision, trained, experienced, and utterly ruthless.
Guys, just wipe them out. Quick! Holy! Holy! Two trucks, and 2 cars. Oh my God, look how many of them are coming out. It's fine, Andrew, it's fine, don't worry. It's on the road.
How are you?
Holy! Relax, Andrew, relax. Vinyal, please call JP and tell him to stay away from this side. Please. These 2 trucks, huh?
It's 2 trucks.
2 trucks. They're coming in fucking SUVs. Look there, they got an SUV. Huh? They got a fucking SUV.
Police later revealed that the robbers used high-grade explosives to blast open the reinforced vaults of the G4S trucks. Within minutes, millions in cash and several firearms were gone. The robbers fled, but their escape wouldn't last long. A massive police operation followed. Ekurhuleni Metro Police, private security firms, and the Hawks joined forces in a dramatic chase that spanned multiple highways. Gunfire echoed, helicopters hovered above, and as the smoke cleared, several suspects were cornered and arrested. The 6 men were identified as Paul Sibanda, Thabo Molefe, Sibusiso Khumalo, Zwelakhe Hadebe, Thapelo Nchabeleng, and you have guessed it, the 6th man is Thato the Bomber Gaopatwe. Each of them faced a list of charges that could fill an entire courtroom: armed robbery, attempted murder, illegal possession of firearms and explosives, and each of them were charged for causing multiple explosions. Among the men, Thato really did stand out, as pictures of the arrest started circulating on social media. Thato is a known man with a terrifying reputation for using military-grade explosives to crack open cash vans and ATMs. Police allege he was the explosives mastermind behind some of South Africa's most violent heists, and that he was running a sophisticated criminal network. Investigations also revealed Thato's lavish lifestyle before his arrest. As stated, he flaunted designer clothes, expensive cars, and luxury trips on social media, an image far removed from his secret life as a criminal strategist. When police raided his home, they discovered over 1.2 million in cash, hidden weapons, and detailed notes linking him to multiple cash heists. About 4 months before his arrest, Thato went to a club in South Africa. When he was there, popping champagne, he met a young woman. Her name is Tsaone Revuelang. Tsaone was smitten with Thato. They exchanged numbers and headed off. Tsaone says they soon started going on lavish dates. He spoiled her rotten, and in one of their dates, she asked him what he does for a living. She says Thato laughed and said she knows what he does for a living, and they left it at that and continued being the lovebirds they were. Tsaone says Thato then ghosted her for a couple of days, and then when she saw posts of him going viral on social media during his arrest, she already knew. She says he then ghosted her for 4 months, until one day she received a DM from him on Instagram. She says they headed off once again from there. She says Thato would call her often. They even video called while he was in prison, and he continued spoiling her the way he used to. Flowers, accessories, money, the soft life, all while he was in prison. She says at one point, he surprised her with a luxury trip to Mauritius. And when she came back from the trip, he surprised her with a luxury car, an Audi. She says Thato used a cell phone and laptop inside prison to coordinate robberies and make a lot of money. She says one day, Thato asked her if she wants a job. She said yes. And then he said the job will be just her going wherever his crew went. The crew would deliver suspicious items between South Africa, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. These items were dope. So Tsaone traveled with them. Apparently, Thato believed that his crew would look less suspicious to the police when they traveled with a woman. So she would travel with them and ask no questions. She says one day, Thato called her and told her to look for a house in phase 2 in Gaborone in Botswana. The house was very particular. It was opposite and overlooking Botswana's main mall. The point of all of this was for Tsaone to be a surveillance for Thato, so she was instructed to be on the lookout for anything that is happening pertaining to a money van. This van is a security systems van servicing the Bank of Baroda. So her job was to make sure she learns every single move by this van every single day. So the times the van came to the mall, the number of guards in the van, what they were wearing, eating, how they moved, do they greet people, do they move fast, do they move slow, everything. Take videos and send to Thato every single day. On February 23, 2022, in the morning, at her house in phase 2, Tsaone wakes up. She makes breakfast for Thato's men, 10 of them, and then she heads out for a meet-up with her friends. A few hours later, Gaborone's main mall is thrown into chaos as robbers hit a cash van in broad daylight.
Armed with guns, these robbers ambushed security systems personnel in the main mall in a well-executed manner before they fled the scene.
The men were quick, they were brazen, and they made out with 986,470 Botswana pula. This is equals to 1,271,881 South African rands. Tsaone says after her appointment with her girls, she went back home. When she opened the door, she saw a lot of money on her dining table. But soon, her joy was short-lived as she heard sounds of police sirens and commotion outside her yard. For hours, the house was surrounded. When the police finally moved in, gunfire erupted. Tsaone says she rushed into her bedroom and hid inside her wardrobe. By the time the smoke cleared, 10 men were dead. Tsaone was wounded and she was bleeding. She was the only survivor. She was arrested and charged with armed robbery, and she made a confession detailing how her lover, Thato, was controlling the entire syndicate from prison. In May 2025, just 2 months after Thato was sentenced here in South Africa. In Botswana, at the Extension 2 Magistrate Court, Chief Magistrate Kamogelo Misi delivered a scathing judgment in his girlfriend Tsaone's case. Magistrate Kamogelo said the prosecution had half-baked investigations. The magistrate said no witness could link Tsaone directly to the crime. No money was found in her possession. No evidence proved she participated in the robbery. In the 35-page ruling, the magistrate tore apart the case, pointing to missing witnesses, inconsistencies, and a lack of forensic proof. Tsaone Rabolang was acquitted and discharged, and the magistrate ordered the money be returned to her.
The court has just acquitted and discharged you. Is there anything that you want to say? I mean, obviously people have been following your case from the onset.
My client wishes to say nothing.
No?
My client wishes to say nothing.
Why? Okay, can you say something on behalf of her since you are her lawyer?
I clear no instruction from the substantive attorney to make any comment on it. But I'm glad. I believe she's relieved of what has been going on in the past year.
Are you?
But her connection to Thato raised chilling questions about how deep his network ran and how far his reach extended, even from behind bars. Now back in South Africa, justice caught up with Thato and his co-accused. The South African High Court handed down heavy sentences. Paul Sibanda got 36 years, Thabo Molefe got 40 years, Sibusiso Khumalo got 36 years, Arnold Nchabeleng got 38 years, and Thato Gaopatwe got 38 years as well. A combined 150 years, with each sentence being ordered to run concurrently. Only one of their crew member, Colin Hatebe, remains awaiting for trial. So even behind bars, the myth of Thato the Bomber Gaopatwe continues to haunt both South Africa and Botswana. A man whose knowledge of explosives made him invaluable to syndicates and whose arrogance led to his downfall. Thato's story is chilling, and as I said, I looked at it and saw very disturbing trends, similar to what happened with Thabo Bester, Mzuki Sinzimande, Vusmuziket Matlala, and the many others. They face very serious cases relating to the murders of people and attempted murders, but the question for me remains, what really is going on in South African prisons? Why do criminals still run the country from prisons? So what are your thoughts on this one? What do you think of the current state of our prisons? Let us talk in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. I will see you on the next one.